The most common issue students have with the Sandnet configuration for the malware analysis class is with actually networking the two VMs to talk to each other. So I'm going to do a demo of that right now. So I already have both of my VMs built. Here's my Windows VM. I already have all the required programs installed. And then here's my Remnix VM over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up on the page labeled Building the Network and set these two guys up to talk. So first off, we need to launch the virtual network editor. So to do that, we're going to go to Edit, Virtual Network Editor. That's going to bring up this pop-up. So what we're going to do is add a network, and we're going to add VMnet 9. Okay. It defaults to host only, which is exactly what we want. And to come down here, we're going to uncheck the Use Local DHCP box, and instead we're going to assign a subnet IP. We're going to use 172.29.1.0 for our subnet, and this is the subnet mask that we're going to use. Once that's done, we'll click OK, and it will build that adapter. Now we're going to come to the Remnix tab, right-click that, and go to Settings. Come down here to Network Adapter, and we're going to check the Custom Radio button and change it to VMnet 9, that net we just built. And OK. Now we need to configure this machine to use that to use a static IP address. And so to do that, we're going to have to modify a configuration file. It's good habit to always back up your configuration files before you modify them, so that's what we're going to do first. So we're going to need to use sudo because we're touching configs. Sudo copy /etc/netplan /01-netcon. Uh-oh, what did I mistype? netcfg, there it is, .yaml, and then we're just going to copy it to the same location, call it the same thing, but we're going to name it .back. So if we manage to bork that YAML file somehow or another, we can always restore to our backup file. And so now we're going to actually open the YAML file to make some changes to it. And we'll just use site. And we're going to make two very simple changes to this. First off, we're going to turn DHCP off. And we're going to add a line that says addresses, :space, bracket, 172.29.1.10 on the /24, close bracket. That is all. Do not put an extra new line in this. Don't touch it in any other way, shape, or form. Just close it and save it. Now we need to apply that net plan that we just changed. So to do that, we're going to type sudo netplan apply. And now to check that we actually have this, we're going to look at the ifconfig, and we can specify the name of that adapter that we modified, which is ENS33. And we can see right here that we have a static IP address of 172.29.1.10, just like we want it. So now we have to go do roughly the same, conceptually at least, the same thing over in Windows land. So we'll come to our Win10 VM. We're going to right-click that tab, Settings, go to the network adapter, Custom, put it on the network that we made. And now we're going to go to File Explorer, right-click Network, go to Properties, change adapter settings, We're going to right click this guy, go to Properties, and let's scroll down. So we're going to uncheck this IPv6 box. We don't want that to be on or enabled. And then we're going to click on this IPv4 box and then click on Properties. Now we're going to check this. We're saying don't use DHCP to get an IP address, use this static IP address. And we're going to assign this box 172.29.1.20 with the subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and the default gateway, pay attention here, 29.1.10. This is the IP address of the Remnux box. And then we're also going to use, give it an assigned DNS server address, and that again is going to be the IP address of the Remnux box. So 172.29.1.10. So we're going to hit OK and close that. And now we have Windows configured. I say no to this. We don't need to be doing network discovery of any sort from our VMs. So I just go with a no on that. You can close all this stuff. And we're going to go back to our Remnux VM. The two are on the same network right now, but now we need to configure the tool on Remnux that's going to pretend to be the internet for our Windows 7 box. And that tool is called inetsim. And so again, we're going to be messing with a configuration file, so the first thing we want to do is back it up. So sudo cp/etc/inetsim/inetsim.conf, and then we'll just back it up to the same location as a back file. Now we actually want to modify that conf file, so we're going to go open it with site. Alright, so there's a lot going on here, but there aren't many changes that we need to make. The first change that we need to make is to find this line that says Start Service DNS and uncomment it. And so to do that, all we're going to do is remove the hashtag for all you millennials out there. Then we need to find this service bind address. We're going to uncomment that line. Whoops. And then we're going to assign it the IP address of the Remnux box, so 172.29.1.10. And one more change, we need to scroll down quite a ways to find the DNS default IP. And as you're scrolling, you can see all the things that you can set here, all the things you can configure with inetsim. And so here it is. We're going to uncomment that line. And we're again going to set it to the IP address of the Remnux box. So 172.29.1.10. We're going to save and close. And we are ready to test our config. So first off, we're going to launch inetsim. And we're going to do that by just typing inetsim into the console. You can see that it's listening on 172.29.1.10, and you can see the DNS process starting. If you didn't make those configuration changes, you wouldn't see either of those things. Now we're going to launch Wireshark, so I'm going to grab a new tab, and I'm just going to type Wireshark. Now we're going to start capture by clicking the blue shark fin. And now we'll go back over to our Windows box. And that's one way to test. But we'll open a command line. And we're going to ping asdf.com. Don't use Google or something that might be in your cache, because some strange things can happen. So just use some garbage or some random words. And what you'll see is a reply from your Remnux box to that ping request. If you go over back to your Remnix box and you look in your PCAP, there's a lot going on here because Microsoft is trying really hard to talk. But we'll apply a filter. First off, we'll stop capture. And then I'm going to apply a filter ICMP. I only want to see packets of the type of of the protocol ICMP. That's what ping goes over. And you can see the request and the reply. So the request sent by the Windows box and the reply being served by INetSim. So if this is what you see these ping requests and ping replies, and over here in Windows World, you see this reply from 172.29.1.10, you are good. If you see anything other than that, we have some problems. Go back and review some of the steps of the configuration guide, or go ahead and contact the TA, describe what you're seeing. We are very familiar with troubleshooting all sorts of issues with this config, so we will absolutely be able to help you.